Hey, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome. It is not your typical podcast day for the All Pro JAFFOs. We're bringing you the highly elevated sports talk for the highly elevated sports fan. I'm your host JP, and alongside me, as always, this time actually in real life, the sixth fan beast from the southeast, Mr. Country K. We got no sound effects because we have to use our phone. For some reason, our technology is being stupid. The last time we did this, so. We're here today to do a bit of a recap of the A7FL Final Four that just concluded. First game being the Tampa Bay Nightcrawlers versus the Baltimore Watchmen, and then the Insomniacs taking on the Chaos. First game, uh, first game was pretty good. The Tampa Bay Nightcrawlers ended up winning the game in a very high scoring game between them and the Watchmen. Um, but most of the time, the Watchmen were playing catch up pretty much the whole time. Um, Going towards the end there, the speed of the Nightcrawlers was just um, it was too much for the Watchmen defense and for the offense for that matter. But I mean, the Watchmen were still putting up a good fight. They were putting up good numbers. Just at the end of the day, couldn't get it down. If you guys want to see some highlights from everything that happened today, you guys can go and check up on our social media handles, um, where we've got a bunch of highlights and stuff for 50s. Okay. And then the final score for the Insomniacs and the Chaos, what was 56-13. Um, so the Insomniacs didn't go to the fourth quarter. A lot of people in Ohio are very quiet right now, and for all intents and purposes, they kind of should be. A lot of the smack that was being talked um, throughout the week, Ohio was saying people have been disrespecting us. We're going to shock the world. We're going to do all this just to get mercy ruled. Um, if I could hit the "they are who we thought they were" button, we probably could right now. But um, throughout that game, okay, you had no surprise.
Nope.
It was pretty bad, guys. I mean, that was
What you
it.
expect?
Well, at least a little bit more of a fight.
I mean, no. No, I told y'all they gonna get blown the fuck out. I'm pretty sure that's exactly how I stated that. They're gonna get blown the fuck out. And they got blown the fuck out.
Yeah, it wasn't even close.
Didn't even make it to the fourth. They showed some life with a couple plays, you know what I mean? And Insomniacs made mistakes. But yeah, bro. Yeah, just like I said on Friday, like good season, it's been real, but it's time to go on the fuck home, you know.
It was one of those ass whoopings where it really is. I mean, the Insomniacs were just toying with them pretty much the whole game. Uh, Fans were getting into it. Some chants were going. Um, it was it got pretty chippy there at the end too.
I mean,
Um,
they, they had some kind of pride, I guess, because they was at home.
to get massacred like that in front of your home crowd.
They picked the right venue to do it at. You shouldn't have Ohio spend all that money to get knocked out that quickly. Like, you know what I'm saying?
To get mercy ruled, he didn't want the travel claims to be all for nothing.
Yeah, how about just, be glad they can just drive home. You know what I'm saying? Like, you only lose about $10 in gas. You have to buy a plane ticket. So
Oh man. Well, I mean, we've been talking about it on the show. Pretty much everybody has been honest about it. The only ones who haven't, and it's one thing because we've said before, if you're brand new to this league, division-wise, team-wise, and everything, you should take a real fucking good piece of that humble pie and take out a nice tall glass, a big sip of a shut the fuck up. Because there's no way you could possibly state that you were going to be able to contend with anybody who has been in this league for 2, 3, 4, plus years. If you ever thought you were going to compete with the Northeast, that was never going to happen. You played Nevada, you played Las Vegas, blown the fuck out there. So that just says that you're what you would consider your bottom tier teams out there in Ohio are literally the bottom of the barrel when it comes down to teams in the entire league.
Did they need O-linemen?
I mean,
they really didn't. Like, I feel like they should have just came out a quarterback and 6 receivers. They probably could have had a better fight. Because having O-linemen didn't help you in the slightest. Because the D linemen literally was doing hand moves on air. They weren't even like contacting them boys. They were going by them, just putting hand moves on air. They weren't even touching them. I just came out there with 6 receivers. You know what I'm saying? Like, if they have to stand at the O-line spot, let them stand in the O-line spot. But I would just have 6 receivers. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wouldn't.
To give some sort you know what, we're just going to get it out there quick. See what happens. I don't think you can have that many receivers at one time, though.
See why not?
So, is it possible in 7-on-7 to have 0 O-linemen and all receivers?
Might as well at that point. If your O-line ain't even touching the D lineman, you might as well put receivers at those spots because all of those guys are eligible. You can throw the ball to those guys, right?
No, there still needs to be they need to do a whole check-in thing for them being
everybody check in.
Everybody check in.
Everybody check in.
Both sides in the center. Everybody. It's not like the center has to snap the ball anyway, so they just.
That's what I mean. And there's no point even having a lineman when you're in Ohio.
People, yeah, it was by far probably the biggest ass whooping in the playoffs, and especially in the conference championship. You definitely don't want to get embarrassed that badly on your home turf, and in the conference championship to get to the national championship, the big one, you essentially laid a goose egg. Those touchdowns and stuff like that were gotten before were almost like the defense just wasn't really trying. They kind of gave them to him, and almost like a spot me type of thing.
I mean, they knew they O-line sucked. I don't know why they sat there and let them go play last. Like, why would you play second? Like, why you should play the first game, like everybody says in the NFL, get the early games out the way. Those are really the trash games. People really not paying attention to the 1 o'clock game, 4 o'clock night game. Like, there's no reason for the chaos to play anything past 10 o'clock in the morning.
They should have all the morning games.
Every one of their games, even if they, like how they just made it this far, they should have played at 10 a.m. They should have played at 10 a.m. because Baltimore and Tampa for sure gave us a game to watch.
Yeah, that was a much better game.
I'm driving down the highway with the game playing through the speakers. I was more interested in that game than this one. I was ready to do
there was a shit ton of lag in the beginning too.
That's crazy. I was still locked in.
Which kind of leads me to our conspiracy of the day. Well, that's my conspiracy. I could say my conspiracy of the day.
It's plenty though, I ain't gonna lie.
So for everyone who was, watching the live stream, watching the games and stuff like that on YouTube, A7FL TV, wherever it was that you were watching, throughout the first game and a good portion of the second into the second quarter of the second game, the main feed with Matt Ryan and Corey Hammond, super laggy. Cutting in, like big plays and stuff would happen, and we'd see the beginning of it, and then randomly it would cut towards the end of it. You didn't really see the in between The picture would be all fuzzy. So the connection was just bad on all things. And it made me wonder because shortly after that, once they got everything back together, all of a sudden the stream was perfect. And then the next thing you know, we hear Casey Cox announcing the game. And it made me think earlier in the day, Casey Cox put up a post saying, "Guess where I'm at today?" Even though the rest of the guys on the other side of the ball, I don't believe were there. I know Scott McCorkle wasn't there. I know Dub wasn't there. I don't even think Chris Vieira was there. I know Derek was there, but obviously, it wasn't really known until this morning that KC was there. So KC being there, and then all of a sudden KC's doing I'm thinking KC sabotaged the whole fucking thing. Because I also thought back to one of the terms that they were discussing between Matt Ryan and KC when they had their race. That one of the terms would be if KC won, that he would take Matt Ryan's place in the booth. So since that wasn't going to happen, he said, "Fuck it, I'm going to take my chances. I'm going to sabotage this bitch. That way they have no choice but to take the connection from here. And I'm the only one here who's actually seeing it, who can get on the mic." Coincidence. And I'm going to take the mic time for the conference championships from Corey Hammond and Matt Ryan. Just to get under their skin. Now, again, this is not at all, am I saying this is at all true? I'm just saying there's a lot of pieces in play that kind of.
It's a great conspiracy theory. It's a great conspiracy theory, but I mean, just looking at it from a fan or a person that's involved, and you see how much, as far as connectivity issues you have in certain moments, especially with like Ohio and shit like that. If you were a high level opportunist, and on top of that, just aware of what the fuck's going on because you know the full staff's not gonna be there. So why not just fly out there just in case? I mean, like I said, it's a great conspiracy theory, but just to give him some kind of bail.
I would say because the only connection issues that have, and to be honest, even with
Baltimore was fucking up a lot.
Yeah.
And Ohio was fucking up a lot.
Yeah, but I remember when Ohio was going down, like the only thing that they didn't really have was the commentary.
Right.
But the game itself, the connection wasn't like that. It wasn't that bad. So that's what I'm saying. Like, there's a whole lot of things that are falling into place. Like, nobody else from the 3-on-1 who announces for Vegas was there. And then Casey Cox comes in when the Insomniacs are playing instead of early on in the game, especially if they knew that the connection issues had been going on since game 1.
Yeah.
People, I think Casey Cox is trying to pull some sort of move on Matt Ryan to get into his head. Although I think that move would be very, if it was ever found out that this conspiracy theory was true.
Yeah, he'd be
yeah, that wouldn't be.
But I mean,
figure out a way to piss Matt Ryan off. That's it right there.
I don't necessarily think that'd be the case, but I mean, it's Ohio, bro. That's kind of why I'm giving him credit. It's Ohio.
Yeah, this pen, man. I just.
Man, what do they really got going out there?
In Ohio? Not much anymore.
Do you seriously expect the Wi-Fi to work that well?
No, that's another thing I put onto the chat. Like the Wi-Fi connection was a great representation on how solid the divisions were. Um, Never really get connection issues with Jersey. You get some connection issues here and there with Nevada, but not too bad. But then when it comes to like Ohio and DC, and it just it's it's pretty bad out there. Pretty bad. So it kind of showed its ass a little bit today. That's what happened. Um, but the chaos got rocked again on looking on social media. Real quiet out there in the Midwest.
Yeah, as it should be.
Real fucking quiet now.
As it should be. I mean, right now they got, what you say about 2 months? Month and a half? You got about a month and a half. But you can go watch Joe Burrow and them, you know. You know.
I actually have some good football to look forward to.
That's really all you got, because you ain't really got the colleges out there doing much. I mean, Ohio State, I guess, but them boys gonna choke it off. So every year they're gonna choke it off. So
I mean, we haven't done it. When Ezekiel Elliott was there, and won, but
Ezekiel has had a whole NFL career, entire NFL career.
Since then, yeah,
they get
good players are coming out, but
they get top picks that don't do too much of shit. But I mean, teachers on. I mean, they got some guys that's decent, but they ain't had no real good dudes. You know what I'm saying?
You really hate Ohio, don't you?
No, I just call a spade, man. That's just all it is. Like fuck. They keep looking at my state as a tourist place. It's like we want to go down there with all this crazy shit going on. So let's just highlight the crazy shit. All right, cool. Nobody wants to fucking go to Ohio. Just the one time me and Joe Kim know fucking it's like we on one accord that way.
Oh shit! I mean, look, the night crawlers came in. I mean, you chose the night crawlers. I chose the Watchmen, and it was solely, based on what we've seen on film. Didn't necessarily see a whole lot out of Tampa Bay, but then you look at the history between the Tampa Bay Nightcrawlers and the Baltimore, Watchmen. Yeah, it was the game against the rare breed. But half of the rare breed is now on the Watchmen now, so there was still bad blood there to be had. So Tampa, and they didn't even bring DRC with them. 45 was nowhere to be found on that sideline. He decided to stay home. Where they told him, "Hey, don't worry about it. Rest up, and we'll see you in Vegas for the championship. We got this." And they did. Bagway went in there, and him and I think it was Rico Brown. That connection was just. I think he must have had like 4 or 5 touchdowns, some shit like that.
It was a high score number of touchdowns from both teams.
I mean, that's true, yeah.
Because the Watchmen had 2 receivers that just kept scoring. So I don't remember these guys' names, but I do remember hearing Rico a lot.
Nightcrawlers. It was one of those games. It was kind of like the thing I can kind of compare it to is remember the Kansas City LA Rams game, that like 105-point total game, like both teams scored 50 something points. I think KC ended up winning that game. It was like 55, 53.
Like regular season game, right?
Yeah. A little while ago, but I think it was.
It had to be the year the Rams won.
Well, that was the year they had a Goff on the Rams too.
That was the year before.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I think that was the year the Rams went to the Super Bowl and lost.
Oh, to the Patriots.
Yes.
Okay. I don't remember that game though.
It was. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was that year. Patrick Mahomes' his first year as a starter.
50 touchdowns a year. Got it.
Yeah. Wait, he won the Super Bowl, I think, didn't
he? He won the MVP.
His
first year starting, he won the MVP. Second year, he won the Super Bowl.
Got it. So that's how. Yeah. But yeah, it was something like that. Defenses were kind of nowhere to be found on both teams. Um, I mean, or at least in the beginning of the game, the Watchmen defense was doing as best as they fucking possibly could, getting towards the end of the game to try and keep it close. But it just shit wasn't in the cards. It just they would have some, and it would suck because they would have some momentum. You would see the momentum building, and then whether it was a penalty, a turnover, something, fucked it up to the point where it screwed up the comeback. Now, like that sucks. Obviously, you can't have that shit if you're trying to win the game. But now we have a national championship game between a Florida team and a Las Vegas team. First time in a long time that it hasn't featured, that the championship game has not featured a New Jersey team.
He said 9 years.
Was it 9 years?
I think he said in a 9-year history. That's what Matt said. I'm pretty sure when he was saying it for you.
I know Pennsylvania had one at one time. Trey Robinson was part of that team before he came down to Vegas.
Okay, so they probably.
But it's the first time that a Florida team has made the championship, and obviously
9 years ago.
Well, 9 years ago was when they were town beat.
And wouldn't that be around the time of that?
But the last time the Florida team did?
No, the Pennsylvania. Like last time it wasn't the Jersey team.
Oh, that would be 6, 7 years ago, I think.
I don't remember what Matt said, but I'm pretty sure he said 9 years or something.
Yeah.
I don't really remember, but I will say this though. Good way to represent. They was talking that caca in the beginning of the year about like Florida ain't got it. Oh, hey now.
You gonna get the jersey now? No. They haven't proved that much to you yet?
I mean, the job ain't complete. Job ain't complete. Whoever wins, I'll get something from their team. So whichever side. I ain't gonna necessarily say that's my team, but I'll say,
What are you doing?
that's what I'll probably do.
Look at lay down. Yeah, obviously this is not the conventional podcast for this fucking about. Lay down. Come on. You're stalling at this point. Now you want camera time. Attention again. But I mean, you know what I told Matt? I texted Matt the conspiracy. Replied. I don't think he was very amused. I'm sorry, Matt. I wasn't trying to say it to rub it in or anything like that. Honestly, I was actually trying to make light of a really shitty situation to try and get everybody's attention off of what had happened. But I mean, again, it is what it is. The championship's now set. Nightcrawlers and Insomniacs in Bullhead City, Arizona, on April 23rd this month in 2 weeks. It's 2 weeks or 2.5? Two. It's close.
Mm-hmm.
That's real close. It's gonna be fun though. I know that.
I hope one of those teams are like, yeah, we for flag football. Oh, we're down a guy. We need somebody. I'll go out there, kill the boy. Tell you.
You can go play for Tampa.
I mean, Tampa got a flag team and they need somebody. I mean, it ain't too far off, 30 minutes away.
I'm saying in the A7FL game.
Oh, no.
We need a defensive lineman.
No,
Cut your kid.
that ain't how that work.
You're from Florida. Get in here.
That ain't how that work. Ain't nobody letting that slide.
You don't think anybody would let that slide?
Nobody letting that.
I feel everybody.
I get in that game and I go off. Ain't nobody letting that slide, bro.
Everybody's gonna be letting that slide.
No.
Because it's gonna be the story of the whole thing.
No, because I ruined the game. I won that the whole season. That's some. Bush
Neither was
so
DRC.
he came midway before the roster was locked in that point.
No. This first game was the first playoff game against the Orange. That was, and then that was it.
The roster's not locked at that point. They locked playoffs. Or he could have been a part of the roster before it locked and he just didn't play. That's what I'm saying. Like they could have registered him and he probably just had to take care of shit so he can play.
I don't know if that's how that went down.
I don't know. They could have had him in mind the whole time and he just was on the fence.
Because you would think if they'd have him on the roster this entire time, that
he didn't play until he played.
Well, I know, but at least the news of him being on the roster would have gotten out.
I mean, they could have thought it was bullshit until you got there.
Probably true. Probably true.
It's like everybody got the same name. You know what I mean? Like that's probably what they thought.
Everybody DRC was just another nickname.
Everybody got the same name, you know.
But I mean, we'll see if he shows up for.
I mean, I don't see why not.
For the championship.
You play a regular playoff game and don't play the championship, stupid as shit. I mean,
maybe he played the first game and just said, you know, respectfully, this isn't for me.
That's probably something. That's probably something. That could have been it.
But I mean, that would imply that.
But did he only play one game though?
Well, yeah, that playoff game against the Orange. That was it. That was the only one he played, and I mean,
and was that the
82 Florida, to fucking?
Was that the Florida chip though?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Played in the Florida championship, but then after that, he was done. So that's why I was wondering, going like, I wonder if it was just, or maybe he was like, I ain't traveling to Ohio.
Ohio, I'm telling you.
Like, I'm not fucking.
Absolutely nothing. Like outside of Sunday, there's absolutely nothing to fuck to do in Ohio for me. All you gotta do is listen to 4 Bone Thugs and Harmony songs, bro, and you ain't gotta go to Ohio for nothing. That's how far back you go. Just 4 day songs, and you be like, nah, I'm cool in Ohio, bro.
Not good. So yeah, the Chaos got their asses kicked, got wiped out in the Western Championship game. As pretty much everybody thought. Corey came on the show on Friday, said the same thing.
Politically correct version though.
Well, yeah. Pretty much everybody had the same assumption. Ohio was trying to take those as receipts, as fuel, as whatever they possibly could to get them to help get them over the edge to win. To no avail at all whatsoever. Hey, coming down. Yeah. I know.
Yeah. I think at that point, everyone just had, you know, deja vu or the foresight.
Well, like I said, after the first half ended, it got like super quiet, and then you can hear it like on video. The fans who were there supporting the Chaos were getting super fucking frustrated. Anything wrong that happened, even the players were getting frustrated. Remember that one wide receiver, he just kind of gave up on the play.
Yeah, for a good 5 minutes, you can hear a wreck that's on cut. Like for a good 5 minutes, it was silence. Like silence. It was just only KC talking. And if you got a good ability to tune out, ain't no disrespect, but the game was absolutely trash. So it was one-sided. You have 3 flashes from Ohio. If I'm not mistaken, 3. They had 2 touchdowns, right?
Yes.
They had 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
So you had 3 good plays, for sure.
Yeah.
3, for sure.
No.
Outside of that 3, I'm trying to be as nice as possible. I don't know why. I'm just trying to be nice because I'm missing my words. But I fucking told you so, Ohio. Like,
And this further makes me prove Olentangy volcanoes, keep your goddamn mouth shut. Forever. Alright? Done. No more.
I can come out there like Jordan. I can come out there like Jordan when he got 55, drunk as shit, and probably get a couple touchdowns my goddamn self at quarterback. I guess on the Ohio team. I feel like that. I really feel like that. Like, I'm not in shape. I'm not a quarterback. I'm not OG Buck. I'm not Scooter. I'm probably faster than Scooter though.
No, you're definitely faster than Scooter.
So
You're bigger than Scooter, dude.
yeah, like I ain't none of them boys, but y'all boys. Goodness great.
Luck trying to bring that guy down. But I'm on the same team. So yeah, it was a good weekend of football up until it wasn't. Thank you, Ohio, for ruining that for us. Las Vegas went in there and claimed Sin City the way it should be, instead of SIN City, which doesn't make any sense.
SIN?
Yeah. Or CIN, sorry. CIN, I apologize.
Mm.
CIN doesn't make any sense. SIN makes all the sense in the world. We're both on the level, okay? I don't even want to hear it. So now, again, it's 2 weeks till the championship game. We're going to be there. Pretty much everybody is going to be there. So a lot of content is going to be made. A lot of videos are going to come out. A lot of things that we can look at for when it comes to the
Make sure y'all have your wrist ready. Your wrist ready for a little basketball game.
Yeah.
Not like a full one, but like a little.
I was gonna say,
I mean, we could do that too.
Are we doing a 3-on-3?
I mean, we definitely could do that. We can do a 3-on-3. We can mix it up, just play pickup, some shit, camaraderie style. But like I said, like, get your wrist ready. Shot that joint pop back. Pop back. Like, hey, nah. Hey, nah, don't play. Don't. Hey, that joint ready just like this too now. Hey. And they kick every automatic. Look.
That would not be fair.
At attention.
I don't think.
Automatic.
Fair.
Right to the ear. Right to the ear. You see it? Right to the ear. Right to it. Right to the ear. Right to. Don't play.
Who's gonna guard you
And what?
in basketball? Who would guard you? It would only be Big Rock, right? He'd be the only one who may have a chance.
I don't know.
He's the only one I feel like is tall enough and maybe strong enough to.
It just depends on what side of the athletic tree that he fall on from the Northeast. Because you got different styles of Northeast. I know where I'm from, you got to be multifaceted. So, you know what I mean? As far as up there, you got a lot of wrestlers. You got a lot of WWE stars, on the basketball court. Like, it's a lot of hoopers. Most of the hoopers come from up there, to be honest with you. But
yeah, like Rucker.
I mean, they got to go through there. Like, it's a good amount of, it's a good amount of hoopers that come from that area because hoopers come from everywhere. So let me rephrase that. But up that way, you got a tree. So if Rob fall on the football side, he'll be more of a wrestler on the court.
I feel like he might be able to
But if you play basketball, you never know. You could be ugly crump. I mean,
I feel like Corey's an undercover shooter.
well, yeah, you're quarterback. Reverse work. That makes sense.
He's the guy who just sits out by the.
I mean, according to the 301, he got 10 kids too, so his wrist.
I think on that note. Appreciate you guys for hanging with us on the recap. If you saw everything, go follow everything that the A7FL is doing. Be on the lookout for all the different types of content and stuff that's going to be coming out in the next few weeks, especially during championship weekend. We will see you guys on the podcast on Wednesday and maybe have a couple of reaction videos. I know we need to get back into some of the boxing and everything that's been going on. UFC 290 just happened. That was a stacked card, so we're going to be talking about that and stuff on Wednesday as well. But until then, appreciate you guys for hanging out with us. Myself, JP, 610 Beast from the Southeast, Mr. Country Crit. See you guys next time. This is